Game Gearers? Yes, it is I, once again, Mike Martins, your handheld junkie. And today, I'm going to show you how to replace the screen on your Game Gear. Absolutely flawlessly, and it looked like it came from the factory. Let's take a look. Alright guys, here goes. First things first, take out your batteries. Take out your game. Already got the screws taken out of the main casing. You're gonna flip it forward like so, just like that, like you're opening a hood of a car. You're gonna disconnect it. You're gonna disconnect it from this side. Guys, do not disconnect it from this side. You're gonna be looking at a lot of troubles. So here it is. I'm gonna unplug this. Unplug this, just like so, and we got one more, and that's the speaker over here. There we go. All of it's unplugged. There it is. 1, 2, and 3. This is your soundboard. That's your power. If you see, I replaced all the capacitors here, all brand new capacitors. All brand new. And over here, all new capacitors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 capacitors. So now what we're going to do is we're going to remove your gold screws here. So I got a special flathead screwdriver that's like twisted and bent and damaged that I used to take off because these screws are really sensitive to the Phillips screwdriver. So I have a busted flathead here that's been used for many years, and then I've been using it for taking this stuff apart. So there goes there. I'm going to put the screws where I could find them. You got 2 screws on the bottom. You got 1, 2, 3, and 4 up top, right there, right by the okay. Uno, 2, just like so. 3 right here. Another one. Another one. So I'm doing this like in real time for you guys, so you guys could see, follow along. And those 2, no. Yeah, you got the 2 big boys here. These 2 big long gold screws. Don't be scared. Take them out. So you want to remove the screen without having to use an X-Acto knife and cut the front of the Game Gear up. You want to do it like this, okay, guys? This is the way you want to do it, okay, guys? Trust me. You don't want to Mickey Mouse too much stuff. Let's start Mickey Mousing. Start doing a bad job. Okay. Boom. Removed. Now, you're going to see your buttons there. You could take them apart and clean them if you like. This has already been cleaned because I've already taken this apart to change the capacitor. But that is filthy. You see that screen? That is a filthy screen. So what we're going to do is... I was thinking of removing the... Yeah, I'm going to remove the buttons. I don't care. The buttons are easy to put in. I'm going to show you guys how to do that if you want to do a really good job. So just move it forward like so you don't lose anything. Let it all drop. Okay, so you should have 1, 2 rubbers here. There should be one more rubber somewhere. There's the rubber for this. Stick it on there. And then we're missing 1 rubber. Must be stuck. There it is. Sometimes it sticks right here. Careful, guys. Just nobody panic if you can't find it. It's usually stuck on the motherboard there. Okay, so here it is. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the screen out. Now this is how you do it. Okay. So you got your screen. You're ready to go. Oh, look, we got a screw in here. Got mixed up in the mix here. Watch me. two fingers, kind of doing it on an edge so you don't break the Game Gear. You hear that? You hear that? It's coming apart, the glue. See that? And if you can't, you could always push it through with the screwdriver here. With these holes, you could always push it through like so. Look, watch me. See that? It's coming. It's coming. This one's been glued on. This is a factory one. This one was never removed from the assembly line in Taiwan or Japan. This is a Taiwan model. The other one that I worked on was from Japan. So there it goes. It's coming. You want to be really patient because you don't want to break the casing here. Because here it comes. You can see it here from the side. It's coming. Very patient with it, guys. Please don't rush it. There it goes. There it goes. So you got it off. There it is. It's off. We got it off. So I'm going to scrape some of the glue. This is crap. We could just throw this right in the garbage can. And there it is there. We got a fresh one here with the plastic on it. Ready to go on. It feels the same. I'm going to order a 10-pack of these because they're really cheap. And I could just sell them in my store, sell them online or in my store. And if I get them to work really well, why not? Every time I get a Game Gear for sale in my store, it always sells. So this way, if it's got new capacitors and a new screen, people will be more, I guess, prompted to maybe want to buy one if they know that it's going to be working for a long time, right? With these capacitors, I think you're going to get at least 15 years of play. The ceramic ones made in Japan, right? You always want ceramic capacitors made in Japan. You don't want anything that's made in China. No offense to the Chinese, but you don't want mass produce. You want like good stuff, right? All right, so I got some rubbing alcohol actually sitting right there. If I need to, I could just. So I'm just gonna rub it like this. Give me a few seconds. I'm gonna go clean this, and I'll be right back. All right, I got it all cleaned up, and it's nice and spiffy and nice and shiny. Look at that. Something in the speaker that fell out. There you go. Nice. You're gonna get dust obviously collecting on it because I just cleaned it, and it's a pile of dust that will be attracted to it. Let me just pan the camera up there. There it is. So now I'm just gonna lay it down. Don't make the mistake I made on my first Game Gear screen replacement. When you lay it, okay, just leave this plastic on. I made a mistake and didn't leave the plastic on, and guess what happened? I left weird stuff on the front of that screen. So yeah, just leave it like this with this on it, because when you're going to flip it down, you're going to be working on it. So I'm going to go ahead, just going to relay this again. You could relay it and put it back on, like kind of re-stick it again. So I'm going to peel the back off. Okay, I've done this before. Make sure this plastic doesn't get underlapped underneath that. So I guess we could take the screen off first, because they want to keep this one as nice and clean as humanly possible. And don't panic if you see damage. It's not damage. It is actually the plastic here, making that illusion that it's damaged. So let's peel this off here. We should be good to go. Okay, we're good to go. All right, I'm going to peel it back. Watch me. Pay attention, man. There it is. Ooh. And there we go. And one last thing. Don't forget to pull this thing off for the power light. Because I've seen people do it before and they cover up the power light. So we're going to leave the plastic on the front. Make sure the plastic kind of lips upwards. You're going to find your first corner to the top left where the power is. Then you're going to drop it. And that's it. Find the corner to the top left, and it's in. Look at that. You can see it from here. Perfection. So feel it out here. Give it some pressure. Don't worry. You got the plastic on it, right? So don't worry about it. Just give it some pressure. It won't fall out. It's very hard for this thing to come out now. If you made a mistake, then you're gonna have a really tough time. You're gonna have to use Gorilla Glue to put it back. And you could press it here to feel it, and it feels very solid. And I'm just gonna make sure. Oh, did it crack? No. just getting it into the bottom here, making sure it's fully in the bottom. Okay, kind of you want to get into here when you clean it. I tried my best to get into here when cleaning it. It's not the screen, it's part of the case inside there. You get a lot of like just muckiness in here. You don't want that, believe me. You want your Game Gear to look fresh. And you could press it together like this with your fingers and behind too, just pressing it. Avoid contact with the inside screen, people, as much as possible. Please don't play with that, please, because then it's like the whole point of doing this was just like for nothing. Alright, so we got our screen on. Let's put her back down. Now, I feel comfortable leaving this on here because I'm not worried about it scratching the plastic. Now, we're going to throw this back on and get some of this garbage out of here. Now, the buttons are cleaned. I'm going to re-wipe them. I got one of those wipes here. The wipes are very handy to have around. Wet wipes. These wet wipes. Just, I'm going to wipe it down. These buttons are severely dummy-proofed, so you can't mess these up. It's impossible to mess these buttons up. They only go in one way, okay? There we go. Okay, then the power button, same thing. So we'll give it a quick wipe. Could only go in one way. Sega set that up for technicians, so they don't waste time tinkering around. Go ahead and wipe these down, guys. Make sure you don't get oil on it, though. If you get oil, these things start to expand and they fall apart. Not really fall apart, but they just stop. They don't work properly. Remember, it goes face down, so you can see the little eyeballs. So you go, the little eyeball there. Always have them face up, okay? Or turn them down, but have the eyeball face up. Just like so. See that? Just sit it in there. Should sit in there nicely. And last but not least, there it goes. It falls in. You could tell when it's proper. Okay, you're gonna bring the power cable around this, and you're gonna bring it up to here. Okay, you're gonna bring it inside of this screw. Always bring it inside of here. Okay, don't forget to do that. All right, so we're gonna lay this in first, but let me just wipe down the inside of the button. There you go. Now we're going to move it over into here, and this is dummy proof too. It only goes in one way. There it goes. It falls into place. This ball bearing thingy, wingy, whatever it is, wipe this down in here too, guys. Get this nice so it bounces back nice and clean. So it feels fresh and crisp when you press the button. So this ball bearing thingy goes face down. You got two little hooks that hook it for you, just like so. You see how we did that? Hook and hook. Okay, nobody panic. We good, we good. Buttons look like they're in place. Everything looks like it's in place. Now, we're going to put the screen back on. Now, I got a special screen cleaning stuff. You don't want to mess with this screen, guys, and I'll tell you why. Because it is very, very hard to keep it clean. I mean, it's very hard to remove fingerprints or any oil, because our fingerprints give off like a bit of oil in them. Has oil in it, I guess. I don't know, but that's what I learned in science class. So you want to let that thing sit on there, okay? It's a seal. It's like a gasket, okay? So when I clean it, I usually peel it back halfway, like I did the other one. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to peel it back just ever so slightly. I got a special screen spray. I'm going to go grab it right now. All right, here you go. Screen is clean. Just use the typical computer screen cleaner. There's a little bit of spray still on the overspray there, but look at that. That is completely touchless. You want to avoid touching that as much as humanly possible. You're going to lay this back down. Make sure your buttons are laid in. Make sure your screen's tight. Nice and tight, sticking nice. And go ahead and drop this board in. You're going to drop the board in from the left side first, just like so. Watch me. Just like though. You see this knob's got to fit in there. And you're going to let this go. Like so. And you're going to line up this here with the connector thingy wingy here. It has to come up like so. It's going to go underneath that screw I showed you there. Where it's got to go under. Don't forget to do that. Because then you're kind of up Poops Creek, right? Alright, so I'm going to do this right so we don't have this problem later. Yeah, so it's going to go around that, then back up into there. And then you're going to bring this wire back, because this wire here is a little bit of an agitation. A little bit of a, you want it just to kind of come around like this, like that. Okay, you don't want that touching your keyboard, your thumbstick. Something's hanging. Not sure what, but something is definitely hanging up. No. Oh, Christ. It's our gasket. So let's sit it right down. All right. I knew something was hanging up. So there's a screen. It's nice and clean. I got a nice screen cleaning solution I put on it. I'm afraid I don't even want to touch it. There's a piece of dust, but I don't even want to touch it. All right, there we go. Something hanging up, and it was the screen. So you're going to put it in for the left side, so, like so. Just like that. Watch that. It goes in like so. Just like so. Just like so. And there you go. Now it is hopefully sitting flush. It doesn't feel flush because of this piece up here. This is coming around. This needs to go underneath there. This is where I want to show you guys specifically. I've made this mistake before. I don't want you guys to make this same mistake I did. It's got to go underneath here, then it's got to come there. There you go. It's got to clear that. Okay. Okay, it feels... Okay, as long as you can turn this from the outside, you know it's sitting right. And as long as the holes are matching up, which they are, do not use your don't pull on your capacitors to adjust it. Just find a way to adjust it from the board itself. And it should fall into place like this one just did. And push it down with 2 fingers and then push your buttons here. I mean, from the other side you could feel your start button and your left, right. So, okay, it looks good. So what I usually do is I put the 2 monster screws in the middle. So I drop the 2 monster screws in the middle like so. So drop the 2 monster screws, grab this little guy here. And 1, you don't have to reef these on, guys. Do not reef these on. Dos. There you go, nice and tight. And then now you have the capacity to turn it over. Press some of the buttons and they feel good. You know you could continue. Make sure your screen gasket didn't fall through or get screwed up like ours did earlier. Now, let's go ahead and grab our gold screws. And we're going to reinstall our gold screws. Let me find my shafted screwdriver here. Here we go. So we're going to put back in our gold screws 1 here. Just like so. 1. Oops. Oop. I don't know where that went. But it fell right out. Clearly we're not working on a transmission or something and the part goes down to the bottom and you got to take the whole transmission apart to find it. Trust me, I've done that before. doing this side here, if you guys are wondering. Okay, here we go. Just like so. Okay. And you got up by the volume control. No, that's your fade control, sorry. It's really hard to get these. Taking these things out are too hard, but getting them in, holy crap. Alright, here goes another one. The last video I did, I fixed the soundboard because I knew the soundboard wasn't going to work. Because every time you change the capacitors, for some reason the soundboard doesn't work. But I don't think this thing was even working originally. This thing came in a bag of parts. If you go back to my channel, you'll see how I received this in the mail. This thing didn't even come assembled. It came in pieces. So I threw it all back together, changed the capacitors on the main board, and I got that working. And then the sound wasn't working, of course, and then I took it back apart and did a sound video separate for it. So if you're just tuning into this video, you might want to see the other ones I did. I try to keep it as simple as possible and in real time. And keeping it real time is important, because this way you'll know how much time you're going to spend on this. So right now we've been 21 minutes on this. I spent some time just cleaning, but I have a guest over here that's hanging out with me. So I was talking to him for a bit and then went back, and so... But it shouldn't take you no longer than the time I have up here. The time you're watching this video should be the same time. Don't rush it either, guys. There's no race. This is not a race. There's nothing at the end of the finish line if you screw up. And, okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 y 5, 6. Let me put this guy in right here. See if there's any other screws. Got some extra screws in this thing. I don't know why or who or what. Oh, I know. It's from this thing. Why did he take this screw off for? Okay, it's from here. Because when I got it, it was already taken apart in pieces. There was screws everywhere. And I felt like I had an extra screw. I think it's for this one here. Why would he take that one out? Wait, let me see if I can get it back. There we go. It's for right here. Yeah, that one you want to get a little bit tight. That one's actually important to have tight so your screen doesn't go black when you touch when you touch the buttons. So make sure this is tight. I'm not sure what this guy before me did. So just to make sure it's all nice and tight, because that's not necessary to take out unless you want to change this bulb. Alright, okay, so we got that, and I have one extra screw as usual, because it came with one extra screw. And I'm going to kind of look it over and make sure that there's nothing here out of place or something isn't been put back properly. It looks like it's all kosher to me here on this end. Alright. Okay, so now we're going to plug in. So we're going to bring this other piece back in. I'm going to show you. You're going to do it just like you're opening a hood of a car. Okay. And because on the last video I cut this off, this piece right here, because the capacitors weren't allowing me to put that grid or that heat piece back on. I took it off. I'm not sure if you should, but I did it, and I've done it on several Game Gears already, and I've never had a problem with it, to be honest with you. Okay. Okay, there it is. There's the speaker, there's the audio control, and then this is your power supply. Power supply. Hopefully I never have to open this Game Gear ever again. I'm going to sell it to somebody, make somebody happy. Let them know that the capacitors are all new. And I have a video showing this thing getting rebuilt. All right, I'm going to sit her down. I'm going to make sure it sits. See how I'm closing that? Like the camera's perfectly on it. Yeah, make sure it's nice. There you go. It's fully flush, just like so. Not really that difficult to do this part. Yeah, it's flush. It just kind of bounces up a bit because there's some capacitors aren't sitting 100%. They're a little bit higher than average. So, yeah, it's right here. All right. So I'm going to put the screws on now for the casing. So we're going to go around. I like to just drop them in like so. I got a really special screwdriver for these ones here. The ones that spin here. There you go. There we go. Sometimes the screws don't line up. Don't panic, okay, guys? If the screw doesn't line up, do not panic. You'll get it. And I'm going to drop this one over here. So I feel comfortable working on this because I got that clap plastic there. I'm not too concerned. And the Game Gear didn't have severe heat issues because back in the day, these systems didn't have a way of exhausting their heat. They just heat up in your hand. Now the new handheld system have ways. Their heat's pretty much distributed nicely, and there you go. It's nice and closed. And nowadays, it's a pain in the butt with some of these older systems, of course, especially with there's no heat distribution or heat dissipating. So they put these metal things in there to absorb the heat but not release it, which is fine, which was good for the time, I guess, because these weren't high-end super graphic mini computers like we have nowadays, right? I don't know why this one's cross-threading so much. Okay. So you want to tighten it like in a star pattern, then go back and over and just recheck your work. This way you don't warp it when you're putting it together. It's nice and sealed. Always look out for this when you're putting it together, guys. This little guy here. Look out for that when you're putting it together. Sometimes it might cock it or kind of throw it off beat a bit. Just take your time with it, guys. And last but not least, the Torx screw here. It's not a Torx screw, it's a hex screw. It's a weird screw that goes up here. Oh, and I'm going to show you guys, if you can't take that apart, we have a hard time getting that screw out or in or out, just use a thin pair of needle nose pliers like so. Drop it in there and just do this. It's not a big deal. Just like so. Let's see if we can get this thing in here. Really don't want to take this apart, and again, it's done. Tuck it apart a few times. I like to build these things in stages too. I don't fully put it back together with all the screws until I know everything is there. So because the sound didn't work, I took it back apart quickly. Same thing with the screen. Once I got the sound working, then I got the screen checked out. And then once I got the, put it all back till it's final. Then I finally clean it at the end, because I don't want to waste too much time cleaning, right? Over and over, the same things over and over. This has got a lot of turning to do before it gets to... I know I have a... Looks like it's a 4 millimeter socket. I don't think it's a 5 mil. It's like a 4 or 5 millimeter socket for this. I don't think I have a 1/4 inch socket for this. But it's at the bottom. It's already grounded. So I don't think it's got much to turn here. Okay, got it. So when you see this here damaged, which it was, see I never put this in. See that? Once you see that damage, you know that someone's worked on this Game Gear. All right, let's move the batteries in to location. So everything's sealed. Make sure this turns, and make sure this volume control up here turns, okay? All right, now, battery time. We got our Noma batteries here. Special sponsored by Noma. Thank you for supplying us with these free batteries. And go ahead and put these batteries in like so. Let's even put our doors on, because I'm so confident this thing, well, it was working, so I mean, no reason for it not to be working now. It's like though, like so, like so, like so. Ooh, it's got the weight back to it. And it's not getting power. And I know why. It's one of the capacitors is rubbing against it. I know what it is. The problem is right here. There's a problem with one of the capacitors, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to trim it down to make it fit properly, because... And we got power. And we could adjust this. Oh, look at the brightness. What? Sound. Got it fixed in the last video. Wow, it actually fills the room. Now, the moment of truth. Ready, guys? It's peeling off the skin, the layer, the onion. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Let me adjust this so we can see through the phone. Hold on. Oops, I just ran into a snail. That's it right there, guys. Nice and clean. Ready to showcase. Probably sell it at my shop. Let me know what you guys think. Did you install your new screen? And if so, does it look flashy like this one? Comment below. Thanks for watching. Hey, this is Mike Martins from the Handheld Junkie. Please like, subscribe, and share this video to support our transmission. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate the support. Look forward to reading your comments below, and comment below if there's a specific handheld game you want me to review. Thanks for watching.